All right, to those millions in attendance and billions at home watching in, April 28th, the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. We have a public hearing today, a submission on 38 Quabog Avenue, an application for a variance, and I'm going to turn it over to our clerk to read the notice.
Thank you. Town of Oxford, excuse me, Zoning Board of Appeals, public hearing notice. Please take notice that a public hearing will be held on Thursday, April 28th, 2022 at 7 p.m. by the Oxford Zoning Board of Appeals at the Oxford Town Hall, 325 Main Street, Oxford, Mass. To consider the variance application of Matthew Paul for property owned by Matthew and Carrie Paul located at 38 Quabog Ave, Oxford, Mass. Assessors map 33D, parcel C31 in the R3 residential zoning district. The applicant requests a variance of minimum side yard setback requirement as set forth in Chapter 10, Table 4 of the Oxford zoning bylaw to construct a 16-foot by 16-foot screen porch and further in accordance with the Chapter 40A, Section 10 of the MGL. The application can be viewed in the office of the town clerk or land management department during normal office hours. Anyone desiring to be heard on this matter should appear at the place, date, and time designated or submit written comments to the board before the date of the hearing. See masspublications.org for legal notice.
Thank you. So what we have in the package, oh, my apologies, please.
No problem. Where the heck am I? Appeal to the applicants to the Zoning Board of Appeals. You are hereby advised of the following provisions of the Oxford zoning bylaws. Appeals. Appeals to the Zoning Board of Appeals must be filled within 20 days from the date or order of decision which is being appealed, specifying the grounds thereof. Variances. In order to grant a variance for the requirements of this bylaw, the Zoning Board of Appeals must find that all of the following conditions have been met. A, there are unique circumstances relating to the soil condition, shape, or topography of such land or structures. B, especially affect such land or structures but do not generally affect the zoning district in which it is located. And C, a literal enforcement of the provisions of this bylaw would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise, but not of a personal nature to the petitioner or the appellant, and that D, desirable relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good, without nullifying or substantially derogating from the purpose of this bylaw. In accordance with Chapter 40A, Section 15 of the Mass General Laws, you are hereby advised that any person aggrieved by the decision of the board relative to this matter must file an appeal as provided for Section 17 of said Chapter 40A within 20 days after the date of the filing of this decision in the office of the town clerk.
Okay, so let me just quickly go through what we have in the packet. We have the application for the variance. We have the town map showing the parcel as number 31. We have a multi-page abutters list. We have the certified plot plan of the property. We have the dimensional requirements. We have a copy of the deed into the applicant. And we have in a letter submitted by Mr. Thaddeus Skoda. We have a letter from the building commissioner advising the applicant that the initial application was denied. We have an application for a septic system permit. Mary, if I may, why is that in the package?
Just supporting documentation that they had replaced their tank back in 2011. And then you'll see on the following page is a sketch of their
So,
system.
simply to show that there's a working system there?
Simply to show the location of the septic system that the proposed screened house.
So the porch,
Encroach.
okay, okay.
Yes.
All right, so the public hearing is opened. I would ask the applicant to come up, identify, introduce themselves to the board. And I want to bring to your attention, we have 4 members on the board. That would mean it would have to be a unanimous decision, or you can request in writing to continue the public hearing for when we have a 5th member, and then it will be 4 out of 5. I leave that decision to you. Please come up, identify yourself, and go through your submission. Let us know what you're looking for, what's involved, why you're looking for it, anything else you'd like to share with us.
My name is Carrie Paul, and I'm looking for a variance for a screen porch in our yard.
Thank you. Christmas theme.
Pretty cool.
Is there anything that you would like to let the board know why you're looking to put on a porch, the reason for the location of the porch, whatever else you might like to bring to the board's attention? Or you can defer to your certainly well-able, qualified engineer. I'm sorry, architect.
I will refer to him.
Just tell them why you want the porch.
Well, our yard in the back is only so big, and we wanted to have it in an area that wouldn't encroach into like the rest of the yard for the kids, because we have 4 kids. They use that yard as a soccer field, baseball field. There's a tree house as well. So we felt that that little corner would be just perfect, and it wouldn't be in the middle of the yard.
Also, I just want to add that when I located this on the plan, we had to take into consideration the components of the septic system. They have to be so many feet away. And because the septic system is, components of it are sort of in this area, and it involved doing, there's going to be gutters and maybe a recharge system. You're required to be like 25 feet away from the septic system with underground drainage. So for that reason, and the fact that there's already an existing hot tub there, an existing deck, and the hot tub isn't material to the septic location, but having something with a drain on it is a little bit more. You have to give some consideration to staying away from the septic system. We thought about maybe locating it on the other side of the house, but that's the only access for a truck to come through and pump out the tank. And so accessibility is pretty important. Um, This is a certified plot plan. Um, They only have this little alleyway to come through and like pump a tank, so we have to maintain that open, so couldn't really put the screen porch on this side because they would restrict the aisle space for doing any kind of maintenance work on the septic. So we thought that was the best of all possible possibilities for siding it.
It seems like it goes, it goes with the flow of the structure anyway. From the house
Yeah,
of keeping
yeah.
it right there, then,
Yeah. We couldn't locate the system, the screen porch here because the septic components come through there.
Right,
The tank
yeah.
is there, so it's awkward. And this is pretty quiet in here anyway. These folks have a garage that's, I don't think it's compliant, but it's close. It's actually a shed, but it's close to its property line. So there are a lot of examples in the neighborhood of like outbuildings that are close to the property line. So we didn't think that it was going to be that harmful in terms of like, its use, that it wouldn't offend a neighbor just having a screen house there.
yeah, you'd have access from the screen porch right into the house, or
Well,
close
It
to it.
doesn't look
Yeah.
like they're set, and that was one of the questions. It doesn't look like, at least the drawing, you're setting it up to have access from the house.
yeah, well, right now.
It'll be detached.
Yeah, right now, it's not attached, but it would be really nice at some point in time to add a roof over this deck, so you can, there might be some steps here, but to have some shelter.
Yeah.
As you come out the deck, which hopefully will be turned into a porch, and have some shelter going into the main door, which is a slider, into the screen porch.
Get out
So
of the
just-
weather.
Just get
Jump
out of the
from-
weather
yeah.
and,
But right now, as proposed, or, we really shouldn't be asking questions. We'll wait on that until you're done with your presentation, and then we'll get into the questions. But was there anything else that you wanted to put forth for your presentation?
No, I don't think so.
Thaddeus, did,
I had nothing other than those, like, engineering comments.
all right, then why don't we open it up? Bob, we'll start at your end.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm missing the part. How far from your master bedroom on the opposite end, how far are you away from the property line on that side there?
Oh, that's actually a double lot.
Okay,
They actually added to the master bedroom a few years back, but I think it's 50 feet plus.
okay, so you got, in other words, you'd have plenty of time plenty of room to come from the street and access the tank on the
Yeah,
septic
it just,
coming
we
from
just
there.
come down the driveway and through a little aisle space.
Yeah,
For anybody with a big hose or,
yeah,
even possibly a vehicle, but
yeah, all right.
we had construction equipment, messing around with the septic, so
Yeah,
that aisle space was very convenient.
right.
When you say the aisle space, are you talking where the proposed addition is?
No,
The other side.
we're talking about this space in here.
Gotcha.
It's important for service and maintenance of the septic system, so we don't want to block it.
Between the garage and the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Garage in the house.
And I see you already have a sun porch on the side and a deck on the side. Well, according to what I got right here in my hand, it's labeled sun porch.
Yeah, it's like a sunroom, but it's part of the house.
Okay, it's like a,
Yeah, if you
like a,
see
like a
the-
4-season room or a 3-season room or something?
No,
Right here.
no, it's fully heated. It's this room here.
Okay.
Underneath here.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it's a regular room.
Yeah, right.
With glass in it, so.
Yep,
But
okay.
it's not a 3-season. It's a 4-season.
Yep. That's probably about all, because I mean, on this crazy copy of the as-built that we have here, it shows everything running in the opposite direction, far enough away from the proposed screen porch. You know, your leach field and everything looks to be coming out into the back end of the lot,
Yeah.
far enough away and stuff, so that looks good. I don't know, I can't think of anything else.
Al,
Yes, thank you.
please.
Obviously, you're here,
Yeah.
and you're one of the two names on the deed. On the application, just Matthew Paul is the only one on the application. You're in agreement to apply
Yes,
for this?
yes, I am.
I'd like to see both names normally on the
Yeah.
application, but you're obviously here. But if you
Yeah.
weren't here, then I would want to know that you're in agreement.
I'm in agreement.
The one thing I did notice that in their neighborhood, they almost like they have a double lot compared to everybody else. So it's really a small percentage of the lot compared to the neighbors.
Oh, in terms of percentage use of the lot?
That's all.
Steve, if you would.
Sure, thank you. I mean, looking at the overall picture here, that'd be the only common sense practicable place to put that sun porch. I mean, it's a good layout. I wouldn't want to put it in the backyard, because if you got 4 kids, you might have 8 kids, because they're all, they'll be running around the backyard anyway, you know?
Well, the parents need, and the guests need a nice place that's protected and bug-free to watch the kids. That's,
Yeah, and another room.
they have a lot of kids playing in that yard.
Yeah, and then you get another room to throw the kids in to get them out of the way, you know, so. No, I think it's well constructed. I'm all set.
Thank you. I had, well, the first question I had is, based on the as-built, it looks like the inner side edge of the proposed screen porch is going to be over the I forget the trough, trench. Help me out here on the septic system. It looks like this will be underneath the proposed screen porch.
No, the septic system is over here. The trenches are over here. These are just ties, distances
Ties,
to.
right.
Oh, okay. I thought the trench
So-
came out this way.
No, the trenches are there, and they're 34, 9 inches.
Okay.
So the porch is actually in here where their components don't interfere.
All right, so you're not putting the proposed screen porch on top of anything.
Correct.
All right.
It's about the only place we could without putting something on top of something, you know, because a septic tank isn't that, you know, far off. The building department, we needed us to have us prove that we weren't actually gonna put it on top or near the septic system, especially if we had drainage, but there's nothing in here, none of the septic components, and also we've got more than 25 feet to, from any kind of drainage that can affect the leach field. And since there was gonna be a gutter involved, and if they have it run on the ground, that's fine, but it's very sandy soil, and the screen house is uphill from that, and I don't imagine it's gonna affect it even if they don't put in a recharge system, but, it's actually, it's pitched towards the back, away from the septic system. So it's gonna actually, the water's gonna be in the back of the shed.
Hey, how did you arrive at 16 by 16 as opposed to 10 by 16 or 9.5 by 16? Just out of curiosity.
That was the size that my husband had chosen.
Okay.
Dimensional lumber, 16 by 16. 16
I'm
foot-
sorry, say again?
16-foot lumber,
Okay. It was easier for the cuts.
yeah.
All right. This is proposed to be only a screen porch. There's going to be no second floor, correct?
Right, no second floor.
And it's not going to be, is there going to be heat in there?
No,
All right, so you're not seeking to have it be a year-round
No.
room?
no.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Do any members of the board have any further
I
questions?
have one question.
Please, Bob.
On the picture here, now you're showing a flat roof on this?
It's a slight pitch,
Okay.
but it's a very low pitch.
And which way is it pitched, to the back or to the side?
It's pitched towards the front of the house.
It's the front,
Yeah,
okay.
so, that's why I was saying it's not gonna have any effect on the septic system, because this is the high part, this is the low
Okay.
part. But it's a very slight pitch.
Now, isn't the new codes that if you put up gutters, you have to have a cistern or something for the gutters now?
That's what I was talking about, the recharge. If we need to put up gutters
Okay,
and put in a recharge system, that'll be some sort of little dry well,
okay.
little plastic tub or something, taking, whatever flow comes off of that and putting it in the.
What's the code on that now?
I am not a building commissioner, so I don't know what the code is. I know with stormwater, it has to do with the amount of
Square
land
footage?
that is going to be disturbed, and 16 by 16, I think, is very minimal.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't meet the
Yeah,
threshold
Okay.
to warrant any kind of stormwater.
Okay.
We've already thought about that.
Yeah.
Possibly putting in a dry well. That's why I was trying
no,
to
'cause
figure
it
out
just,
how.
it didn't show it here in this, it's a nice picture, but it didn't show it here, that's why I was
It's
wondering
meant
if
to
it
look
was.
pretty.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
Is there any codes, Mary, on rain barrels?
Codes on rain
Well,
barrels?
I'm
I
just
don't
saying, that you're
believe
talking
so.
about a runoff from water. Instead of putting a recharge system, put a rain barrel there.
Well,
Go with a rain barrel
normally
and
when
water.
people want to handle, a little gutter, little downspout, you can, at Home Depot, you can get a black plastic tub. It's about, 2 feet diameter and maybe about 3 feet high. And you dig a hole, surround it with a little bit of stone, and just drop the downspout into it. And it's as simple as it is. It's not a rain barrel per se, because rain
Oh,
barrels
yeah.
are, you fill them up and then you use it for watering.
We have one.
Yeah, they're very effective, and since Oxford is known for its sand,
Actually, something like this small, you could probably use like the perforated pipe,
oh yeah, a little French drain,
yeah,
yeah.
and that would disperse it over at least a 10-foot length, you know?
Well, I'll do whatever they pay me to do.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that would be an option.
I mean, I can't stand on my head anymore, but I'm willing to do
Well,
something.
have you tried?
I have dizziness issues these days.
All right, okay.
No, I haven't. I don't think I will.
Well, don't be such a quitter.
All right, yeah, you're right, I shouldn't be so negative.
Does any other members of the board have any questions, comments, discussion points?
No.
And have you had an opportunity to lay out everything you'd like to? All right. Then I would ask, are you okay going forward based on only 4 board members here?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Then I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
All right, Steve, that was your motion. Bob, second. I would entertain any motions.
You have to vote on
My
the closing.
apologies. Bob, on the motion to close the public hearing.
Yeah.
Al?
Yes.
And I vote in the affirmative, too. So that motion passes, the public hearing is closed. I'll entertain any motions or discussion. I'll entertain any motions.
I'll make a motion that we grant the variance
Now,
requested.
so that we are as specific as possible, Al. Where is it? I think they were looking for 8 feet of relief. Am I correct, Mr. Skoda?
Yeah, I think it's a 15-foot setback, and the screen porch is about 7.5 feet away, according to the surveyor.
Yeah, 7.5
Rough-
feet.
Yeah, roughly 8 feet,
Well, if we're gonna do it,
yeah.
I would not want to see, oh, you went 6 inches over. You have to take a big saw and cut 6 inches off your porch.
Well, I go by what the survey laid out, and we're looking for,
So it's 15 feet, and it looks to be, that from the proposed side of it, it's 7 plus or
so
minus.
here's the certified plot plan by the surveyor, and he located it at 7.5 feet exactly.
Okay.
So I'd rather go by
Eight.
what a surveyor
Seven.
said.
8 feet of relief would bring it
Yeah.
to 7 feet, would give you 6 inches of leeway.
Yeah. Just in case I don't measure
Just a
right.
suggestion.
I'll add that into my motion. Matter variance. So that the distance to the sideline setback will be 7 feet.
Right, and if I may make another suggestion, that the use is limited to what is requested as a proposed
Screen porch.
screened porch.
Yeah, can add that in. Add that. to the-
Single story. I, would you, Mary, did you get all of that?
Yeah,
I'll entertain a second of that motion.
I'll second
Okay, and we'll have a vote. Bob,
it. Yes.
Al,
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
And I would also vote in the affirmative, so 4 in favor, the variance is allowed. There is an appeal period, Mary, 20 days?
20-day appeal period that begins when the decision is filed with the town clerk,
Within a few days?
which is gonna take me about a week
Oh.
at least to get that done. And once it's filed with the town clerk, the 20-day appeal period begins. So when I file the decision with the town clerk, you will receive in the mail a copy of the decision with a cover letter that says after the 20-day appeal period, you'll be receiving a certificate of no appeal from the town clerk. That certificate of no appeal needs to be recorded with the Registry of Deeds.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say probably right around 25 to 30 days.
Okay.
Before you can record that.
Okay.
You're all set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I
Pleasure.
appreciate it.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Hi, Thaddeus, nice to see you.
All right, we have some action items. Did everyone get an opportunity to go through the minutes of February 24th, March 10th, and March 24th? And if so, are we ready to vote on those?
Got three of them?
Yes.
There's from a reference point,
I'm sorry, say again, please?
reference all three of them?
We'll do one at a time. Steve, you weren't here for March 10th, but certainly, no, I take that back. March 10th and March 24th.
February 24th, I was here.
So if we're ready to vote on those, I'll start with the minutes of February 24th and entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of the March 24th.
February 24th.
I mean, February 24th.
Second motion.
And we'll vote on that. Bob?
Yes?
Al?
Yes.
Yes.
And I will also vote in the affirmative. Let's take,
I just want to say, I don't think that Mr. Keough can.
oh, he wasn't on
vote
back
because
then.
He wasn't a board member at that
Okay.
time, so you
I-
can abstain.
Okay.
So really, it's just Al and I. I'm not sure I can second a motion. Oh, no, I'm sorry. On the 24th, Steve, you can vote. My apologies. So let's start that again. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of February 24th.
So moved.
Yes.
Seconded by Steve. We'll vote Al, Steve.
Yes.
And I will also vote in the affirmative. Now, for March 10th meetings, Bob, you were here.
Yes.
So I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes of March 10th.
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes of March 10th.
I'm going to question something on it, but I'll second the motion.
Okay, discussion. Please.
I want to know on page 2, there was a Mr. Heriage.
Mr.? Oh, that would be me. It's Ms. Ms.
It's MS.
I wanted to know
Well-
who he was, how he got in our meeting.
Al, we're not supposed to question things like that anymore.
That was me. Is that the only? Is that the only thing, Al?
No.
All right, so are you suggesting to make that correction, Al? All right, and would you amend your motion?
I amend my motion to accept them with the change as proposed.
And
Second.
a second. We'll vote. Bob?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
And I also vote in the affirmative. All right, the minutes of March 24th. Excuse me, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion we accept.
A second motion.
And we'll vote. Bob?
Yes.
Steve? I'm sorry, Al?
Yeah, I would have the same discussion that there was a Mr. Saint Germain with an E on the end of his name. Second page, second paragraph.
I'm good at that proofreading, Al.
Is that going to be your second career? That's all right, not a problem.
I see it. Yep, I can fix that.
I would, Bob, would you amend your motion?
I'll amend my motion to accept these minutes with the changes as directed by Al.
And Al,
I'll second that.
second, and let's vote. Bob?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
And I also vote in the affirmative. So that takes care of the action items. We have correspondence
Have an E at the end of your name?
Check that.
withdrawing without prejudice a variance application
Uncle didn't have
by
any-
Oxford Logistic Center. Mary, do we need to formally accept it? I don't really think, I didn't think so.
Formally accept it. There was the issue that I had discussed at a previous meeting. The publication was never published in the Telegram and Gazette due to error by Telegram and Gazette. So an applicant can withdraw without prejudice before publication of the advertisement,
Okay.
with no further action on your part. But in order to close out the open application, they needed to submit this letter.
All right. Old business, the only thing that comes to mind that was outstanding was trying to arrange an executive session, and Mary's going to try and do that through the town manager. Does anyone have any new business that they would like to discuss?
What was the executive session on? That's North Oxford?
I apologize, I can't think of the address. Steve, what was that again?
Was it 50 some odd Quabog? 58, 59?
All right, does anyone have any new matters that they would like to bring up? All right, not hearing any, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
And we'll vote Bob,
Yes.
Al,
Yes.
Yes.
Steve, and I also vote in the affirmative. We are out.